Greetings and welcome to What's New with Human Design, in which we follow the journey of the sun and the earth around the human design mandala. Hey, and I'm Maggie Ostara, and I am delighted to welcome you to episode number 21 of What's New with Human Design. We've got a really cool, interesting configuration coming up this week. Today we're still working with the energies that got started last week, but starting on Friday and going through next Wednesday, the Earth is going to be in the gate 34 and the Sun will be in the gate 20. Now, these two energies make a channel. And the channel, the 3420, is known kind of colloquially as the channel of the manifesting generator. It's in traditional human design, it's known as the channel of charisma, and in quantum human design, it's known as the channel of responsive power. Now, this is a super interesting and vital channel in the chart. The reason is that it's the only channel that connects the sacral, which is the center for life force energy. The 34 is on the sacral, and then the 20 is on the throat. And so the energy goes directly from the sacral to the throat. And the throat is the center for expression and also for initiating, which leads us into manifesting. So this is pure life force energy that is moving from this most powerful engine directly to the throat. And this is, like I said, it's known as the channel of the manifesting generator, because if anybody has it, they're going to be a manifesting generator. This is the final expression of the integration circuit. And the integration circuit is part of individual circuitry. Individual circuitry is all about bringing in new ideas, new possibilities, new forms, to be evolutionary and to be on the leading edge, all without a lot of concern for what other people think or whether or not we're going to fit in, because individual energy does not fit in. I have almost all of the integration circuit, and with the 20 defined this coming week, I'll have all of it, because I don't have the 20 defined. I got everything else. So I know this circuitry really well, and it is awesome for thought leaders, for people who want to be really working with elevating consciousness, or working really in any field that is going to be evolving us into the new world that we are longing for and that we know is possible. And we're experimenting about how do we get there? How do we get there to this world that we so want? Well, one of the ways that we get there is through the creations that happen through individual circuitry and through the integration circuit. So you're going to feel some extra bonus energy for that this week to be able to open up and expand the possibilities for you, and then to give life force power to it. So that part is really cool. The Earth is lighting up the gate 34, and like I said, this is it's on the sacral, and it's known as the gate of power. It's also colloquially known as the gate, the busy gate. And people who have this sometimes are just busy, and they may be being busy, not doing the right things. So this is one of the downsides for manifesting generators, is sometimes they can just be really busy, not doing the right thing. But they don't even know it, because they're so busy that they don't realize that they're not doing the right thing. And there can be this sense of spinning around. It's like, I have so much to do. I have so many plates that I'm spinning. I'm just, so engaged all the time, but they haven't stopped to kind of come above the fray and look and go, am I actually going in the right direction? Am I actually, moving on the path that I thought that I was on, and towards the goal that I wanted? Am I on purpose? So that can be the challenge with this energy, because it is so fast and so powerful. But the interesting thing is that the sun is lighting up the gate 20, which is on the throat, and the gate 20 in traditional human design is known as metamorphosis, and in quantum human design as the gate of patience, which really is interesting, because if you think about the busy, fast of the 34, coming up and then meeting patience. It's like an invitation to pause and to make sure, is now the right time? Because the biggest challenge that this energy poses is that there's this huge impulse to express, to initiate, that's coming out. But because it's fueled by sacral energy, it works best in response. Any generated energy works best in response. Generators work best in response. Manifesting generators work best in response. Even when we have a lot of energy towards initiating, we still do work best in response. And so the 20 is there to kind of say, okay, what are we responding to? Are we responding to anything? Okay, so maybe you've got all this power to create, but are we responding to something? Is there something in our outer reality that is telling us, yes, go now? Or are we just kind of being pushed by this energy in a way that's maybe not as helpful? So we want to take a look at that and be able to know that we're responding. And if you are a generator, I hope that you've been working with your strategy, which is to respond. Even if you're a manifesting generator, because sometimes in some teachings they'll say that manifesting generators can go ahead and initiate as much as they want to, as long as they don't meet resistance. That's not the way that I was trained, and I think it could probably work for some people, but for others not so much. So it's one of those places that you want to experiment with. And just remember, all of human design is a big experiment. I mean, it really is. It's a big experiment. This is not the way that I teach it, the way I understand it, the way I live it. It's not dictated to you how you need to be or exactly how things are. We're all individuals, and depending on what else is going on in your chart, then that's going to influence how you experience this energy. Okay? So if you are a manifesting generator and you're used to initiating a lot, what I would say is, how's that working out for you? Like, if it works out awesome, great. Keep doing it, and also notice what you have to respond to, because you can slow down enough just to see what the response is. Like if people are asking you for something, or if you see something on social media, or you read something in a book, or you see something on a Netflix show, I mean, you can find things to respond to all over the place. I get stuff in my email every day that I feel that I can respond to or not, depending on what it lights up for me. And so I would just say it's good to bring that in, even if you're used to initiating, and even if the initiating works out well for you, is to just kind of practice that, looking towards the signs that show up in your outer reality. As a generator or a manifesting generator. And so all of us are going to be having this energy over this next week. So if you're picking this up, like for me, the 20 being defined is going to complete that channel for me. So I'm not used to having that channel be completed all the time. So it'll be a new experience for me. If you have like the 20 defined, not the 34, you'll have a new experience for you having that whole channel defined. Or if you don't have any of it, all of a sudden you'll get to feel that. So you want to explore and see what that's like, and how it can support you in your life. It can make you extraordinarily productive when the time is right, and when the project is the right project that you're working on, which is what your authority is going to tell you, right? Your that's coming from your sacral for you generators and manifesting generators, and talking it through if you're a projector, or tuning into what the moon says if you're a reflector, or just, the impulses that come from you for you as a manifester. For manifestors, probably the main thing that you'll feel, and for projectors also, is that you'll have this sacral energy and reflectors that you'll get to use during this time. We've had a few different transits recently that define the sacral. So you may have more energy coming up this week if you are a non-energy being, somebody who's not a generator or manifesting generator, or even if you're a manifestor, you'll have more energy, because that sacral will be, that you can pick up on, and then you can amplify it. So taking advantage of this in what you're expressing, what you're creating, what you're manifesting in the world. At the same time, you don't want to be too hurried about it. You don't want to be rushed. You don't want to feel that the energy coming from the sacral is forcing you to move forward without having taken the time to kind of tune in and see, is this right? It's like, imagine that you're on, an incredibly powerful, fast thoroughbred horse, and you want to take the reins of that power, which is the gate 34, and you want to be holding on to it, which is your 20. And you could, even as you're feeling the power building underneath you of that horse, of the 34, you want to decide, you want to be the one to decide when you unleash that power, and in what direction and in what timing. You don't want the horse to run away from you and to lose the reins, and the next thing you know, you're just at the mercy of what's happening. If you're familiar with the Chariot card in the Aleister Crowley deck, the Thoth deck, then there's a picture of a knight who is sitting on the chariot, and he's got a big shield in front of him, and he is completely relaxed, and he's just there, and the horse is running the chariot, right? But he's in charge. So that's the kind of stance that you want to take with this 3420 energy, so that the horse doesn't run away with the cart and you're trying to just hold on and not be thrown off. The good news is a lot of power is coming your way when you know how to use it. Let me just see here. Was there anything else? Oh yeah. Also, notice how this energy may be affecting other people, because you may find that other people around you, if they're not quite aware of how to utilize this energy, it starts influencing them. You might see them trying to spin too many plates, right? At the same time, you might find them spinning around in what they're doing, being really, really busy, but not actually channeling the energy in the way that's the most useful for them. So you want to kind of check that out if that's happening in people around you, because you can help them to go, oh, you want to make sure that you pause a little bit and see, is it the right time? Am I doing this in response? That's a way that you can really help people. Another thing you can do is you can give them something to respond to. Right? Because if we're using this energy in response, you can ask people questions, you can give people feedback, you can say, hey, tell me more about what it is you're working on, so that they have something to respond to, because that will help them to be able to be clearer about what they're doing. And to also know that they're moving in right timing, and that they're utilizing this powerful energy in the right way. So one of the beautiful things we can do for each other is to give each other something to respond to, for us generators and manifesting generators, and also inviting people to share, which is really helpful for projectors. It's helpful for everyone, really. And so that's one of the things that we can do, where we're helping to draw other people out rather than us just trying to express, which is one of the downsides of what can happen when that 34 energy kind of takes over with you. You also, because this, like I said, this is the end of the integration circuit, it's individual circuitry, you want to be tuning into what are the new possibilities, the new forms, the new perspectives, the new ways of being, what's on the leading edge. How can you use this evolutionary energy to help propel you into a new phase in your life? Because that's what it has the potential to do. Even if this is only defined for you during this next week, it's something that can set a seed in place, can bring in something new that you can continue to cultivate and unpack for quite a while to come. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wave to some people on Instagram. Let's see. Okay, great. Hi, Story Stylist. And then I also, let's see here, just want to make sure I got that right. Okay. All right, so that was the part that I wanted to share about the Earth and the Sun, but I also want to share about the, because we have another channel that's defined right now, which is the 3536. This is known as the Channel of Transitoriness in traditional human design and the threshold in quantum human design. This goes directly from the emotional solar plexus to the throat. So it's a motor. The emotional solar plexus is a motor. It's not as strong a motor as the sacral, and it's of a different quality. So it's emotional energy. It's very creative, emotional energy. And I think that there's some confusion sometimes about the emotional energy of the emotional solar plexus because people think of it as feelings. And it's not really the same so much as feelings as it is the energy of emotions. If you think about how you feel when you get happy, right? There's an energy to that. When you have joy, there's an energy to that. Same with when you feel sad or you have grief. There's an energy to that. So it's more about those energies than it is specifically about those particular feelings, if you will. It's more about the energetic qualities. And the emotions are energy in motion, and they're very strong. And so the emotional solar plexus is the center that helps us to identify that energy of our feelings, the energies of emotions, and then be able to utilize it to create in our life. So here we're having that energy going directly to the throat. Now, this is part of the sensing circuit, which is collective circuitry as opposed to individual circuitry. So this is much more about, it's right-brained energy, it's creative energy, it's somatic, so it's of the body, it's sensual, it's creative, it's not logical, it's not reasonable, it's not rational. Actually, none of these energies are at this time. And it can really help you to experience a sense of oneness with the all that is, because this energy is not separate from anything. It's about being connected to everything. It really dissolves boundaries in a good way, where we realize that, the trees outside my window, I am one with the trees. We are part of this one living organism that is Gaia, that is our Earth, and Gaia is part of a solar system, and we are the children of the star at the center of our solar system, and we are made of stardust. And all the way that we can start to really feel our connections with all that is. And so any of the right-brained energies can do that, and the sensing circuit certainly enables us to do that. So this channel sometimes gets a bad rap because it gets thought of as being chaotic, and it can be chaotic. Again, it's a powerful connection, energy to the throat. So you want to be able to grab a hold of it and really use it. I want to encourage you to approach this with an energy of, or an attitude of adventure and exploration, and trying things out, and being excited about what can happen in your life, emotionally as well as through actions, so that you can start to feel the quality of that oneness. You can start to feel, for example, a sense of the oneness of what's happening on the earth, so that you don't feel so separate from what's happening elsewhere. And then, rather than having that be something that bring you down, have that be something of where you're like, well, what's my next adventure going to be relating to this sense of oneness that I have? So that is also active for you. The Venus is in the gate 35, Neptune is in the gate 36, and so that's being lit up right now as well. So you've got both individual circuitry and collective circuitry that's being highlighted during this week, and you could feel a bit of tension between them, because one is definitely forward-thinking, moving, not really too concerned about what other people think. Collective energy is much more about how connected we are, how at one we are, how that you're thinking about what's really for the greater good. But you can turn that tension into fuel for how you can expand your understanding and your contribution to really bringing about this new world that we long for. And we can feel that the void is, we're in the void, right? The old is dropping away. That can be scary. And the new hasn't formed yet. And so we're in this kind of like, where's the ground situation? And you can use these energies that are going to be activated this upcoming week to help you to navigate that, to be like, okay, I'm on the leading edge. I have evolutionary thinking. What are the new forms that are coming in? And then also, how do I connect to the larger understanding and the larger sense of what is the highest good for all of us? And that can help you while you're in the void. Okay, I also want to let you know that I have opened up registration for my Activate Your Superpowers program. I did do a webinar about that last week, which you can find on Karen Curry Parker's her Instagram and on her Facebook, the replay of that. I'm going to be doing another webinar next week that'll be a preview for that program, and it's called Inner Guidance by Design. And it's about accessing and activating the superpowers of your intuition according to human design. You can take a look here for announcements on Facebook and on Instagram, and also through email. And you can connect with me if that's something that interests you. I was just talking with some of the participants who've already enrolled this morning, and they were sharing their excitement about why they decided to jump on board with this class. And they said it was, the first part is that they love human design because they like to know what makes people tick. They like to know what makes themselves tick. They like to have this kind of deep inner understanding of what's going on, and that they felt that human design was an incredible tool to enable them to do that better than a lot of the other things, or in addition to other things that they had already been studying. And that they wanted to be able to use human design to support other people in their life, whether that was families or their clients or people that they work with. And they realized that this program was going to give them the foundation to be able to do that. And finally, they also realized that, reading a book and reading blogs and getting little pieces here and there was not really sufficient to enable them to really get what the system is about. So the Activate Your Superpowers course covers all of the fundamentals of human design from a superpowers perspective. And what I would say is my intention in creating this course has been to help you to understand what your superpowers are, and to turn any aspects of your behavior or your character or your patterns that have felt like, I used to call them character flaws that I thought I had, where you have been identifying with and expressing the disempowered or the shadow aspects of the human design archetypes, and being able to turn those into the superpowers. Because when you do that, you not only heal and unravel things that have held you back in the past, but in addition to that, you also activate and express and expand qualities that can be super beneficial for you in your life. So check out one or both of those webinars. And if you want to find out more about the program right now, you can go to sovereigntybydesign.com/superpowers. And if you want to register, use the code SAVE300 to take $300 off the registration price, bringing it down to $297. That's going to be good through the end of the month. So you have a little bit of time if you're emotionally defined to make a decision. This is a course that you can come into and start at any time. So that's not an issue. You won't have missed anything if you do that. Thanks so much for being here with me today for What's New with Human Design. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you can find out more about me and my work at sovereigntybydesign.com. Many blessings, much love. Bye for now.